Static apnea. Static apnea is a mental game, and it's very different from the other disciplines of freediving. This is where you hold your breath, typically in a pool setting, while you have your face down underwater for as long as you can. And this is the only discipline in freediving that is based on the time of your breath hold instead of depth or distance. As the name implies, static apnea means no movement, so you're just floating there doing nothing, not breathing. And for some people, it is a bit of a challenge, but I'm here to help you overcome that and be better and have a longer static breath hold. So when you want to do a static apnea session, it's best that you come prepared. So a session in the morning right after you wake up on an empty stomach is best. Here are the equipment that you need for static apnea. Mask and snorkel or goggles and nose clip, wetsuit to keep you warm and buoyant. Take note of the importance of a wetsuit during static since we easily get cold since we're not moving at all, so you really need that wetsuit. A pool noodle or a floater, optional, and a stopwatch. Now some people can do maximum breath holds directly, but if you're chicken shit like me, we require 1 or 2 warm-ups prior. It's best to do easy warm-ups without discomfort. For example, you can have your first warm-up for a minute and then do your recovery in between and have your second warm-up for a minute 15, a minute 30. The goal of the warm-up is relaxation and also to help you get into the feeling of getting a CO2 buildup in your body and therefore have more oxygen released into the blood. So since I assume that you've already watched the breathing video and you know how to breathe before a static session, I will add something to that will really help your static breath hold. Only in static apnea and in no other discipline do we integrate the use of hyperventilation. When we hyperventilate, we purge out CO2 content in the blood that delays the urge to breathe. In static apnea, it is somewhat accepted by most as we have more focus and awareness on the sensations of the body. And since static does not have the need for any movement or equalization. Take note though that hyperventilation causes the heart rate to go up. So you would want to insert it in between your preparation breathing. Typically, after you do your tidal breathing or your preparation breathing, you do your hyperventilation and then some smaller breaths and then proceed with your full and your max breath. So when you do that, you bring down the heart rate afterwards and then you can still continue to hold your breath with a relaxed and slow heart rate. You may or may not want to use this. It's totally up to you. But be a responsible freediver and make sure that your buddy knows what you are doing and what they should expect. Hyperventilation is just one tip from me that you can use to maximize your breath hold. This is not mandatory for a long breath hold. You can still hold your breath for a long time, but if you just want to delay the urge to breathe or delay the discomfort, then you can use hyperventilation for that. And remember not to use hyperventilation on any other discipline except for static. Now, after taking your max breath, once you're ready to start, we then begin with an entry, and there are 3 ways you can do your entry. First is facing the edge of the pool. You can have your hands on the edge and just breathing while standing up. When you're ready and have done your max breath, you then put your face down in the water, let go of the edge. You then put your face down in the water and let your feet float behind you. Once that's done, then you can just let go of the edge and let yourself float. Second is with a floater or a pool noodle. So you can have the floater behind your neck and you can just lie down on it and let your instructor or your buddy assist you in facing the water when you're ready. Or you can take a pool noodle and ride on it and just move your upper body down towards the water when you're ready to start the breath hold. When you use a noodle or a floater, it makes us more relaxed as we are not standing up or holding on to anything and we just let ourselves float during the breathe out. And then the third one is what most beginners use. This is where you use a mask and a snorkel and float face down in the water as you breathe through the snorkel. This is okay to do, and most people feel very relaxed when they do this. And when they're about to start their breath hold, they just remove the snorkel from the mouth. Static apnea requires you to take your focus away from the breath hold. Therefore, the power of visualization with your eyes closed really helps you to forget about your breath hold, forget about the discomfort, and go somewhere else during your dive. This has a huge impact on letting time pass, which makes for a longer breath hold. So contrary to what other people say, that you have to think of nothing, that actually activates the monkey mind, and it makes room for getting intrusive and sometimes even negative thoughts. So it's important that you have a mental program during static apnea. And on my other video, which you will find below, different visualization techniques, so make sure to check that out. But specifically for static apnea, let's begin with the body scan. The body scan is done before and during. So while you're doing your preparation breathing, do the body scan already. And once you start your breath hold, it's best to do another body scan because you've already changed positions, you've already moved, and you're letting the water carry you. So this may create some tension in the body, and doing a body scan will help you to release that tension and relax more. People will subconsciously raise their head a little higher, sometimes even their neck and their shoulders. So be aware of that and make sure to drop your head, neck, shoulders, and even your whole body down to your toes and let the water carry you. Drop all of your weight into the water for a more relaxed breath hold. Now, some people are floaters and others are sinkers. So even if you feel like your legs are sinking or your arms, just let it be. Try to suspend all of your weight into the water. Now, after you're done with the body scan, and take note that the body scan, the length of the body scan varies from person to person. The more specific you are, the longer time it will eat up. Therefore, the longer your breath hold will be. Now, after that, what do we do next? What do we think of next? It's best to do a visualization technique called transportation. You want to take your focus away from the dive. You don't want to think about holding your breath because that will only make you want to stop holding your breath. So think about something else. Take your focus somewhere else. Transport yourself. So this can be anything from a happy place, a memory, or a dream that can make you feel calm and happy. So personally, I like to imagine myself going inside my dream beach house. And when I do, I try to be specific as much as possible by looking at textures and colors and materials that are used. So as I go inside, I go into each room and really dig into the details. And the more I do that, the more specific I am, the longer time it will take and the longer my breath hold will be. So it's really up to you. You can use whatever you like and whatever works for you. But also make sure to check out my video on visualization, on the different kinds of visualization for a more in-depth explanation. Now, towards the end of the dive, and depending on your CO2 tolerance, this is where we experience the urge to breathe through the rising levels of carbon dioxide. And there are physical and mental techniques that you can use to help you get through it. First is you can push your tongue towards the roof of your mouth. What this does is it closes the glottis and helps you to contain and not release the buildup of CO2. Another way is to create eye pressure. Now, since most of us does our static breath hold with our eyes closed, even with the eyes closed, you can try to look and focus your attention towards your third eye or your pineal gland. And this creates eye pressure to help you hold your breath longer. Another way is to swallow. This pushes the air down and releases tension. Now also, to gain more control of your dive once you really feel the urge to breathe, you can reach your arms out and hold on to the edge of the pool when you're nearing the end of your breath hold. Putting your hands on the edge of the pool makes you feel more secure and is a way to do a faster exit. Now, some of us may also experience as if we're spinning around while we are holding our breath. So what you can do is to open your eyes and look around you to reorient yourself with your position in the pool and to know that you're not actually spinning around. So just open it for a short while and then close it again to relax. Now let's talk about mental techniques that you can use. So first you can do what is called the check-in. Check your hypoxic thresholds by asking yourself simple questions, such as simple math, like 1 plus 1 or 2 plus 2. Now, if you find that you have a hard time answering these simple questions, then hypoxia may have already kicked in and you need to end your breath hold immediately. Now, if you're able to answer these simple questions, such as 1 plus 1 or 2 plus 2 or what comes after ABC, then it means that you're still coherent and you still have a few seconds or maybe even up to a minute to your dive. Another technique is called self-talk. Talk to yourself through affirmations, mantras, or self-coaching. So you can tell yourself that you're still relaxed or that you're strong or that you can hold your breath for a few more seconds. You can also do coaching like, let's try holding our breath for 3 more seconds and then count to 3. And then if you feel that you can hold your breath a little longer, you can give yourself more time and do a few more counts. What I like to do is I try to imagine myself beside me, coaching me while I'm holding my breath. And I tell myself to relax more, to drop my shoulders, and that I'm okay and that I am safe. Now let's talk about exit. A controlled exit ensures a clean end to your breath hold. We start by reaching for the wall with one hand and then follow it up with the other. And then we put our feet down on the floor. And when you're ready to end the breath hold, lift your face and make sure to perform recovery breaths immediately. And then remove your facial equipment. So breathe as much as you need. Typically, it's around 3 to 5, sometimes even 7 recovery breaths. In my other video about breathing, I talk more about recovery breaths and how to do that properly, so make sure that you watch that. Now, in some cases, when we do a max static breath hold, an LMC or a blackout is highly likely. So when you do your exit, it's also best to put your arms and also your elbows above the edge of the pool to give you more support. Just in case you experience an LMC, it helps you or gives you more time to do your recovery breaths. And just in case you experience a blackout, you won't fall directly back into the water. Factors that will affect static. First is the water temperature. Make sure that you are comfortably warm at all times. When you get cold, you will start to shiver, which will burn oxygen faster, and you will lose your relaxation. Next is noise. Don't be bothered by it and try to incorporate it with your visualization. Although a quiet environment is ideal for static. Water movement. If the water moves, flow with the movement. And then negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are visuals. So when this happens, open your eyes to remove those negative visuals or thoughts, and then close them again to start or continue with your visualization or relaxation. So that's all I have for today for static breath hold. I hope that really helps you with your static training. Bye!